course, you had to do hand-to-hand training all the time. Guy comes at you with the knife, you gotta be ready. But this is something else. I'm supposed to learn to tuck and roll away from a guy who can shoot lasers from his eyes or kick a goddamn school bus to the moon?
It's the job.
Before we ever see how fragile humans would be in a world of superheroes, the two characters that we open up with already set up that theme. And if you didn't watch the trailers and you didn't notice the TVMA rating, like I did, you would have thought that talking about it was as far as they'll go.
The thing is, when Molly and I first got together, he was living with his dad and he was just running wild. You saw the shiner he gave me. That's all behind us now. He stared down his demons and he conquered them. We're so damn proud of the guy. I never had a kid of my own. But in a few months, when he walks across that stage, that is my son.
We see this guy maybe 2 more times for the rest of the season, and his whole story is a great reminder of what's important to us humans, before reminding us how quickly our lives can end.
It's not enough for us to kill him, it has to be a spectacle. You'd know this if you were truly the original.
This reoccurring clone argument is funny, and it has some good payoff eventually, but it's kind of weird to think that at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, he can clone himself, then in the process, neither of them know which one's the clone and which one was cloned. It really makes for an interesting dynamic. I remember laughing out loud when I saw them, since it's so clearly ripping off the Justice League, and I thought it was super gimmicky at first. But if this show proves anything, it's that ripping off a core concept and making a completely original and unique story still makes for a good story. I mean, what if stories are always intriguing? That's why Marvel made a show out of them. See, like, the concept of giving a knockoff Batman a hoverboard is super interesting, and this show lets you know the Guardians well enough that you start respecting them more as the Guardians of the Globe and less the knockoff Justice League.
You're welcome.
J.K. Simmons is always a win. Besides being a great display of teamwork, it also gives us an idea for how effective the Guardians are when they've regrouped and they take on a threat in a measured manner. And that baseline's super important because without it, it would make them look like they were weak at the end of the episode. And it shows how they weren't weak, they were just caught off guard and unprepared.
Mom, what? I'll be out in a minute.
I don't have a minute.
Out of all of the superhero coming-of-age stories of a teenager trying to live up to a mentor, this one starts separating itself already by introducing us to Mark taking a dump while his mom walks in on him. Like, is there anything more human than that?
Looks like we won't be getting breakfast together this morning.
It's the White House, Mom. Kinda important?
Oh, they rebuild that thing twice a year at this point.
She's so nonchalant to the insane stuff that goes on, and I love it. It's also a great juxtaposition to Mark's slightly more concerned reactions.
Boundaries, people. Bathroom doors are closed for a reason, and parents should never ever talk about sex in front of their kids.
Steven Yeun is one of those actors that I just don't ever feel can be a bad actor. Every time he says a line, I never think, oh, I feel like that delivery was weird, or oh, that's not the way that I would have delivered that line. Like, I'm not an actor, but I've acted before, and it's hard to memorize and read lines from a script and not sound like you're memorizing and reading lines from a script.
Yeah, just trying to break in these new shoes.
He also perfectly toes that line between like the more animated style of voice acting and the more naturalistic acting. If you watch an animated cartoon like the Batman animated series and listen to that voice acting, then watch the voice acting in the Uncharted games, you'll see what I mean.
You're such an omni-maniac. Sure, he's hot and all, and that mustache. Sorry, okay, straight stuff.
It's weird for Mark because Omni-Man's his dad, but it's also really funny because he just seems kind of homophobic from the outside looking in. He's sort of like, ew, William, I know you're gay, but like, can you stop talking about gay stuff? Jeez. Oh man, I think that counts as brutal, even in this show. Well deserved, but brutal.
Close one.
Invincible's animators love focusing on the details, like with the door swinging closed so he has to catch it with his foot, or the little trail of disgusting liquid by the trash bag, the small tear when he tosses it in. It's the details.
Guess who's finally getting his powers?
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Threw a trash bag into space at work.
Oh, that's great. If you're up for it, I'll make some time tomorrow for training.
Ooh, good foreshadowing to Omni-Man realizing it'll be time to take over the planet. Also, the music starting off dark and then lightening up seamlessly, it's simple, but it's so well done, and wouldn't you know, John Paisano's the composer. I will gush about him later, don't even worry. I might be reaching, but I like to think that the 101 represents a similar format to how TV episodes are named, so this episode would be Invincible 101. The clock is literally showing him that his story starts now.
This is going to be a little awkward for both of us.
This line frames this conversation as Nolan giving Mark the talk, and it's such a good way to frame it.
It's kind of like how you walk and you don't think about balancing anymore. But when you were a baby, you did. You're a baby flyer right now. You have to focus on staying upright, focus on going the direction you want to go.
I appreciate the detail and care put into explaining flight in a human way. It makes me actually feel like Omni-Man has flown his whole life.
Get up. Come on.
I'm actually getting used to this a little.
That's not good.
I love these two.
Good. But try it a little more like this.
Like what?
Not really a normal win, I just like the idea of that edit.
Hit me as hard as you can. Again. Again. Harder.
This is stupid, reckless, and 100% something I would have done if I had powers and I were getting physically bullied. While I do kind of wish this had some consequences, it's still really satisfying to watch.
Who the hell are you?
I guess I'm working on that. Any suggestions?
Captain Guy with the hole punch team?
It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
You can see how overconfident he is, already being comfortable enough to make some kind of funny quips. It's the first time Invincible's hero theme plays, and it does not disappoint.
What about ass kicker? No, it sounds willfully childish. What are you thinking?
Wait, he was genuinely considering ass kicker as a potential name? Come on.
Think, Mark!
I want to be just like you.
You will be, son.
There's a little bit of Nolan's self-centeredness creeping in. Usually with a line like that, the mentor would be like, you don't have to be me, be yourself, or don't be like me, be better. But Omni-Man wants Mark to conquer Earth with him, and this is some great foreshadowing.
Who are you talking to?
Sorry, I just need to ask.
Mark Hamill just playing a chill guy who makes clothes and costumes is such a far cry from the Joker and Luke Skywalker and Firelord Ozai, and I love him for it. So in case it wasn't obvious, Mark Hamill's always a win.
Get inside right now.
Make me.
Does that make you feel strong? To know I can't physically make you do something? Is that what you need?
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm worried about. I'm nothing like Dad. I'm more like you. I'm nothing special.
Oh, like a knife to the heart with this one.
Debbie has remarkably thick skin. I don't know if I could joke about my kid saying stuff like that and not take it at least a little bit personally.
You don't have to be the greatest Omni-Man ever. You just have to be the greatest you.
There we go. There's the difference in parenting. I'm not saying any parent or mentor who says what Omni-Man said earlier is actually selfish, but Debbie's intentions seem a lot more pure, and we find out later that they are.
What is it?
You're just gonna keep prying if I'm evasive at all, so, I'm scared, Dad. What if I can't do this?
You hear it?
I do.
Get ready. This is the beginning of a long journey for you and me. It's natural to doubt yourself, but if you can push through that and do what needs to be done, you'll do just fine.
This whole scene is so serene, with them being high in the sky, the wind, the really floaty music, and that air of inspiration. But even then, with the slightly dark undertone in Nolan's line,
Do what needs to be done.
puts you ever so slightly on edge. The first of many great needle drops. I love me some slow-mo punches. Invincible's theme is just so good. John Paisano has a knack for writing such memorable superhero themes, and while he gets credit for it, I feel like he deserves so much more. He should really be considered one of the greats in superhero music, and I hope he gets his flowers and then some eventually.
You might as well give up.
My favorite gimmick that I hate calling a gimmick because it really works, and it's super unique.
I've lined my suit with plutonium!
Is this Invincible's version of the Vulture? That's amazing.
Sorry. Got it. Are you okay?
I am fine.
Aw, this is just cute.
Don't worry about him. He can't be everywhere.
Yep. I love when speedsters are shown to be as powerful as they actually would be. Red Rush would have been great as a defense for the whole fight, but of course they were unprepared, and I think his importance is the reason he was killed first. Here it is, that moment where the tone of the show expands past what we all thought of it to be. It can be lighthearted fun, but it can also get so much worse. And you can only really watch it in shock. The way the music completely cuts out too, and you just have to hear every hit, the butchering of every Guardian. This is what a fight between Batman and Superman would look like without prep time. I'm just being real. I'm glad we get a fairly tame murder as a little breather before he one-shots the last two Guardians. See, they did give him a run for his money, which is why I believe they could have won, but it's just a hopeless what-if scenario. The only audio in the credits just being room noise was a genius move. It adds a little bit of eeriness to what just happened.
That building has one purpose, to say I'm the queen and you are my subjects.
This episode also opens with a human monument, which is a running theme throughout the season.
Who all thought they were better than the rest of us.
Ooh, some foreshadowing about the blood Invincible will spill, since that trash bag was the one Mark threw. At least it brought this stepdad and his son together.
You called me Dad. I used to worship this guy as a kid.
Oof, the guy that said I used to worship this guy as a kid? People used to look up to the Guardians and now they're all gone.
We're not in the mood for the tour, Donald.
Sorry, Debbie.
The fact that Debbie seems to have more history with Omni-Man's colleagues than he does is so cool, and a dynamic you wouldn't really expect to see.
Who knows, maybe someday we'll even work with...
Okay, sometimes the title card feels out of nowhere and the music sounds like it cuts in, which feels a little weird, but you get used to it. I love the idea of Tom Tom being like a theme song for the Flaxons. That little melody there is part of the original song, but it kind of sounds like the theme that plays in the title cards. Man, first time it's ever been so real for Mark, and anyone his age would have reacted like this or worse.
I don't know who you are, but it's time to go.
Britta wasn't my favorite Community character, but Gillian Jacobs' voice actually fits really well for Adam Eve. Hold on, the school's name is Reginald Fell Johnson? They named the school after the actor that plays the principal? Hell yeah.
Eve? Hi,
Mark, right?
Grayson. Yeah. Thanks for saving my butt back there. Yesterday?
Yesterday? Oh.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, that was me. I'm, invincible. God, that sounds dumb when I say it like that.
The fact that these two can just have this conversation and know each other like this is really cool. I don't know, I feel like this angle of superheroing is never really explored, and it's refreshing to see it.
I never recognized you before.
No one does. If you don't expect to see a superhero in your school, you don't see a superhero in your school.
See, this is why Clark Kent's secret identity works, and anyone that says it's stupid is wrong. Sorry, I get passionate about this one, but Eve gets it.
Why don't you come by and meet the team after school?
Team? I don't know. I heard they were only everyone's fourth favorite.
Meet me out front after class, Invincible.
I'm sorry, I think they have better chemistry than Mark and Amber. I know they kind of fixed Amber in the second season, and those two do have great chemistry, but even Mark just works so well without even trying.
I know you're there.
Wasn't hiding.
Like I said in my Penguin video, Clancy Brown is always a win. I appreciate the reminder that just because he has a suit and everything doesn't mean he's automatically a pro at flying.
Invincible, may we count on you in the future?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Just text me, I guess. Oh, right, you need my number.
This face got me, I don't know why.
She's not strong enough for us to transfer her to a normal hospital.
But she'll be okay.
Well, it's too soon to tell, but I hope so.
Man, you can see how much her living means to Mark. Not just the fact that he wants to save lives in general, but also because if he was able to save one person, that means he did good. That his help was worth it. It was the right first step to learning that he can't save everyone.
Is Mark dating Eve Wilkins?
I wish. I mean, no, definitely not. She's got a boyfriend. He is super available. You want his number? I'll write it down for you.
Get you a wingman like William.
Way to go psycho there, Invincible. I take back everything I said about you before, and I said a lot.
I can't help but smile at Rex fanboying over Mark.
You have to be able to take a hit too.
Colin!
Oh, great.
A+ delivery. J.K. Simmons, everyone.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Your planet signed up for the program. See?
Urath, this is Earth!
His pupils slowly panning down.
Earth isn't yours to conquer.
Ah, because it's his to conquer. They really make it obvious, don't they?
The Guardians of the Globe are dead.
Okay, I get that the choice of showing 4 credits and then showing the actual end of the episode is a weird choice, but apparently some people skip straight to the next episode without watching the post-credits. I'm actually genuinely interested in what those people's experiences were like, because that just means they missed almost everything about Omni-Man killing the Guardians.
Martian Man was exiled from his own people. War Woman was from a different age. Darkwing... well,
Nolan literally can't help but laugh at the fact that Darkwing was a human being without powers and he was a superhero. There's another hint of how he looks down on human beings.
You wouldn't even let me see him. Joseph is finally standing still, and I still can't see him!
Whew, man, does that line hurt.
That could have been my mom, putting my dad in one of those holes, or me. If this could happen to the Guardians of the Globe, it means that none of us are...
I'm sorry, I just need to nitpick this one. There's already a piece of score in the scene, and the intro music cuts it off, which makes it sound weird. The thing is, in some future episodes, the score from the scene does seamlessly lead into the intro music, written as one song, and I wish they did it for this one. It's a nitpick, I know, I just had to say it. But I'll give a win for how quickly this intro manages to go from depressing to eerie.
Discover clues, catch killer, bring to justice.
And buy yourself a few more years out of hell. Don't pretend you do this because you care. You just don't want to go home.
Maybe one day you'll know why.
What an interesting way for Darkblood to basically say go to hell. Also, funny thing about Damien Darkblood, he's based on Rorschach from Watchmen, but there is actually a DC character named Damien Dark, who most of you might know from Arrow's 4th season.
I'm not so easy to kill.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's what Red Rush told Olga.
Hey, he could run fast, okay? It's not exactly one of your premier superpowers.
Okay, let's show the Speedster some respect. If Red Rush knew how to phase down to a molecular level like the Flash does, he probably could have killed all the Guardians himself along with Omni-Man and not broken a sweat. I mean, yeah, it depends on the writers, but I truly think so.
You're terrified of me, aren't you?
No, I think you're amazing. That's why I'm calling to tell you that. I mean, that's not why I'm calling. Not that that's not true.
I will say Amber's confidence and Mark's awkwardness makes for a fun relationship dynamic, especially as they keep dating.
When does this all get started?
A montage to De La Soul's gotta be worth 5 wins, right? I think it is.
Somebody ought to teach you some motherfucking what the
Perfect delivery. I know I keep saying it, but everyone in the cast just knows what they're doing and they're damn good at it.
I'm not talking about the comics. I'm talking about the dirty clothes, the dishes, the tissues.
Fun fact, those tissues were not there the last time we saw his room, so I'll let you guys figure out the rest. Wait, isn't the Grayson house also under constant surveillance by the GDA? So that means I'm gonna leave that there.
So your basic mad scientist deal.
Have fun, kids. And try to remember, it's a national treasure down there.
Another national monument playing into that recurring theme of man's greatest achievements being reduced to nothing by superpowered heroes and villains.
Cecil asked me to save Mount Rushmore, but I left Amber waiting in the room, so I gotta...
You left a girl in your room while you flew off to deal with a crisis. Good. I mean, not good for her, but good. That's the tricky part of the job, balancing what you want to do with what you need to do. Remember, you're not just a superhero, Mark. You're a Viltrumite. We have responsibilities that normal humans don't.
Right. Yeah, thanks.
They nail the accuracy of the conversational equivalent to unskippable cutscenes that your parents sometimes trap you in.
Calamari for dinner?
I love how they remind you of Omni-Man's stature by having him barely fit to the top of the frame.
Surprise! Look, I screwed up, Eve. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't want to. You know I love you.
I know, but that wasn't an apology, Rex.
You're right. I'm sorry. Look, give me a do-over. Just this one time. I'll be better.
Good luck with the new team, Rex.
Yeah, cheating isn't something you come back from. Also, I appreciate getting to seemingly see some genuine sincerity from Rex and a little more of their history.
Good for you, Mark.
I mean, to be fair, Mark wasn't going to be that easy of a rebound, and it's probably good that he wasn't. I love that most of the Mahler Twins scenes have Run the Jewels as their music, partially because I love Run the Jewels, but it also makes sense because LP and Killer Mike have a similar partner in crime dynamic as the Mahlers.
I'd say I'll miss you, brother. but I can always make another one.
Even here, it's not explicitly clear which one was the original since their memories are literally the exact same. Then again, if he's done the cloning process multiple times, the true original is probably long gone.
Your men are too slow.
You know, Clancy Brown's Australian accent isn't that bad. I've also never heard him scream like that before. It sounds nothing like him. I like the headline's reference to Darkblood's weird way of speaking, where he avoids using pronouns of any kind, like he, she, they, you, me, etc.
Wow, those are cool boxes.
They're called balls. I wanted to bring one home from the Philippines, but they don't exactly fit in a backpack.
Maybe this is your lucky... Oh my god, look at how cute those are.
Those are rice separators.
And so reasonably priced.
Priorities.
Who do you think they're gonna believe? Me or you?
Well, he does have credibility as a detective, so that question's not quite that easy to answer.
Good to be home again.
Ah, if I have to hear one more time about how you're an original member of the Guardians of the Globe...
You'll do what?
Okay, in Rex's defense, people that hold their OG status over everyone are super annoying sometimes.
Amber, you're incredible and you make me want to be a better person, so at the risk of sounding totally desperate, please don't lose interest in me while I'm gone.
I figure you've banked about 2 weeks of interest.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Maybe 3.
Okay, fine, they're cute, they have chemistry or whatever.
There are Martians?
Where do you think Martian Man came from? Jupiter?
Think, Mark!
Mark is hilariously dumb sometimes, and it's super endearing. I feel like every superhero, even the most relatable of them, are like geniuses, so it's a breath of fresh air to see a guy who's just got his heart in the right place, regardless of his smarts. I feel kind of bad for knockoff Vulture. I mean, that's a terrible way to go out.
You're hiding something from me, and it hurts.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not...
You're not what?
I never thought I would have a family. And then you came along. And I love you. And Mark.
Wow, is Nolan remarkably good at pulling sob stories out of his ass. I mean, yeah, he does love them both deep down, but he's also a really good liar and smart enough to be so forward-thinking that even the GDA hasn't found out about him yet. Those smarts and manipulation skills mixed with that much raw power is a really scary combination.
Julius Caesar, one of Earth's greatest conquerors, reduced to that.
I love how he just can't help admiring conquerors.
God, this takes me back.
Well, it was only a few years ago.
Our first date was 20 years ago, Nolan.
Huh.
Ah, another hint, this time at the fact that he's over 2,000 years old. I wonder if Debbie just thinks he has really good genes.
Now do something!
I'm on vacation with my beautiful wife. Let Cecil earn his paycheck.
It's cool that Debbie has actually learned Nolan's nonchalantness towards terrible threats after their 20 years of being together. She's not nonchalant here, but you can see how Nolan led by example a bit. It's accurate to how you learn stuff from your partner in a relationship. She taught him how to feel, he taught her how to feel less.
You can come out.
I'm not hiding.
Callbacks. Creatures that stick to people's faces like these Sequids and also Starro from the DC universe freak me out so much.
Welcome to Mars, Earthman.
Jaimon Hansu's in this too? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. The show's cast is insanely stacked, but I'm glad to hear him. His little yelps.
I've been wanting to go to Mars since I was a kid. Now I never want to go back.
I love when voice actors play multiple roles in one show. I know it can annoy some people, especially if it's one guy that plays every extra, but honestly, it's just a flex for most voice actors to have that kind of versatility. And in case my point made no sense, I'm saying this because that's Black Samson's voice actor, Carrie Payton. Nope.
Oh, hey, you're back early. Wow.
How was Mars?
She's out of breath, you dirty dogs.
That's the problem with demons. You only see good and evil, black and white. Well, I need to keep things gray until I can figure out why Nolan killed the Guardians and how to stop.
It's the first time it's said aloud that he killed the Guardians, and it feels super refreshing since the audience is known for 3 episodes. The first half of Invincible Season 1 was great. It starts off seeming like something generic and unassuming until it gives you an extremely rude awakening while also proving itself to be unique and something truly special. What'd you guys think of the first 4 episodes? Let me know in the comments. As always, you guys are an absolute win, and I'll see you soon.